Dear students, this is lecture number 2 for second week of second term. Let's have recap what we did in previous discussion. That is in lecture number 1. In lecture number 1, we talked about kinematics. And what is kinematics? Kinematics is the branch of mechanics that deals with motion without discussing the cause, that is force. So we only focus in kinematics on the motion of an object. And later on we talked about rest and motion. Rest, what's the definition of rest? If a body is not changing its position with respect to surrounding, the body is said to be at rest. And if a body is changing its position with respect to surrounding, we say that it is in motion. And one important characteristics regarding rest and motion are rest and motion are relative. Similarly, we talked about types of motion, and we have 3 forms of types of motion: translatory, rotatory, and vibratory. So we talked about all these kinds of material in the previous session. So let's start with today's discussion. So this is the topic for today's discussion. We are to describe motion. What is motion? Motion is simply defined as the body, if a body changes its position with respect to surrounding, we say that the body is in motion. Everything in the universe is in a state of motion. And in the previous lecture, we talked about 3 major types of motion. That is translatory motion, rotatory motion, and vibratory motion. So in the following discussion, we would be talking about the major terminologies that are associated with the term motion. So let's begin. If an object moves, we are interested in how fast it moves, that is its speed. And if the speed of the object changes with time, we are also interested in how much it changes with time, that is its acceleration. Before we can fully understand why an object moves, we must be able to describe the motion precisely. When dealing with motion, we come across various terms such as the position of an object, the distance covered by it, its speed, and so on. Let's explain some of the terms used in the following discussion. Let's begin with the first term that is associated with motion, that is position. How to define it? The term position describes the location of a place or a point with respect to some reference point called origin. So position is a location of a point or an object. For example, you want to describe the position of your school from your home. Let the school be represented by S and home by H. The position of your school from your home will be represented by a straight line HS in the direction of from H to S, as shown in the figure. So the position of your home is here at this point, and position or location of your school is at this point. Similarly, if a kid is sitting in his or her classroom on a chair, then that is the location of that kid in a classroom. And if he or she is playing in a playground and standing somewhere, then we say that that is the location or position of that kid in a in that playground. Dear students, here you are noticing a term origin. So let's elaborate it. Suppose a person is here and now he or she starts moving along a straight road and reaches here. So we describe the position of that person at this very time from this point, which is called the origin. Similarly, suppose an insect is sitting on a wall somewhere here, then the position of this insect can be described by just considering two edges of the wall. This is the x-axis or horizontal line, horizontal edge of the wall, and this is the vertical or it may be called the y-axis. So this is the corner of the road. So we describe the position of this insect with respect to this chosen origin. And what is the position of this insect with respect to the origin? This OP. So this OP is showing the position of insect from the one of the corners of the room, that is called origin. So this is the concept of origin while describing the position. Also you can recall that while defining the motion, what is the definition of motion? If a body changes its position with respect to the surrounding. So this definition is having this concept position. So mentioning the position while describing the motion is very pivotal and important. So position is just where a body sits or resides or located. Let's talk about a pair of terms that are associated with describing the motion: distance and displacement. What is the definition of distance? Length of our path between 2 points is called the distance between those points. And the definition of displacement is the shortest distance between 2 points which has magnitude and direction. Dear students, let's understand the concept of distance and displacement by the following example. Suppose there is a road. Suppose this is the road and a person starts his or her journey from this point A and reaches at this point B. So as he or she is moving along the road, so the total distance is starting from here and finally the journey ends here. So this is the total distance traveled by that person from A to B, and the distance is denoted by S. But the displacement is a straight line between A and B, and displacement is denoted by D along with an arrow over it. So dear students, the distance is actually the movement along the road, and the displacement is a straight path between these 2 points. Dear students, let's appreciate the difference between distance and displacement by the same example of your home and school. Suppose your home is here and school is somewhere here. While going from your home to your school, you may have different route paths like this. Mean you are moving along the road. So you have traveled through all this path and reaches your home. So this is your total distance. But The displacement is if you move directly from your home to your school. So this is a straight line. Usually, now come to another pair of definitions that are associated with motion: speed and velocity. What is the definition of speed? The distance covered by an object in a unit time is called its speed. And here its formula is given: speed equal distance covered divided by time taken. Speed is denoted by v, distance is by s, and time is by t. So this is the symbolic formula for speed. Now mentioning the unit for speed. Here you see in numerator there is s, and the unit of s is meter, and there is a time here in denominator, and the unit of time is second. So the unit for speed is meter per second, or it can also be written in this fashion: meter per second, s bar minus 1. Now, what is the definition of velocity? The definition of velocity is the rate of displacement of a body is called its velocity. And the formula for velocity is velocity equals displacement divided by time taken. Now, in symbolic form, velocity is represented by v, and as we just learned, the displacement is represented by d with an arrow over it, and time by t. Now come to defining the unit for velocity. Here we see that displacement is represented in meters, and this is time is in downstairs, so it is time. The unit for time is second, or it can also be written as meter per second. So this is another way to write the unit for velocity. Dear students, here we are noticing that the formula for speed is speed equals distance covered divided by time taken, and the formula for velocity is velocity equals displacement divided by time taken. So let's understand the difference between speed and velocity. So here let's make a column: speed in first column and velocity in second column. So speed is denoted by v, and velocity is denoted by v but an arrow over it. Speed is defined as distance covered by time taken. Speed equals distance divided by time, and velocity is defined as displacement divided by time taken. Velocity equal displacement divided by time. Here you are noticing that both are having the same unit. Meter per second is the unit for speed, and same unit meter per second is the unit for velocity. And you are noticing that as we don't mention any type of arrow, or you can say that speed is depending upon distance. As distance is a scalar quantity, so speed is also a scalar quantity. While velocity is a vector quantity. So this is the major difference between speed and velocity. As I just told you that a scalar quantity is only represented by a numerical magnitude. For example, suppose a body is moving with speed 10 meter per second, and if we express it into a velocity, then we say that a body is having velocity equal 10 meter per second, and we also have to specify the direction. Mean the body is moving in a particular direction, rightward, leftward, upward, downward, and so on and so forth. So we can say that velocity is a speed but in a particular direction. Here the point is to be noted that speed and velocity may be uniform or may be variable. So what's the uniform speed? A body has uniform speed if it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. And what is the uniform velocity? A body has uniform velocity if it covers equal displacement in equal intervals of time. Now, the last term that is associated with motion is acceleration. What is it? Acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity of a body. Here, its formula is given: acceleration equal change in velocity divided by time taken. So, change in velocity means final velocity minus initial velocity. So, in symbolic representation, acceleration is denoted by A and it's equal Vf. F is in subscript. Vf means final velocity here minus Vi. I for initial velocity divided by time. So this is the formula for acceleration. So you can find the bold letters as you see here for acceleration and for velocities. While writing in your own hand, we can write it as acceleration with an arrow over it is equal Vf minus Vi divided by time. So this is how to write the formula for acceleration. Let's illustrate the acceleration more. When does a body possess acceleration? In many cases, the velocity of a body changes due to a change either in its magnitude or direction or both. So the change in velocity of a body causes acceleration in it. So what is meant by it? Suppose a body is moving along a road, and when we start noticing here, it has velocity 2 meter per second, and while it reaches here at this point P, it also has velocity 2 meter per second. So in this case, as the velocity of the body is not changing, so there is no acceleration because body is moving with uniform or constant speed or constant velocity. So what is the basic condition for acceleration? If the velocity of the body changes. For example, again make an example. Suppose here the body is having velocity 10 meter per second and it is moving along a straight path, and the second point of observation here is here the velocity of the body may be changed. For example, suppose now it has 20 meters per second. So here we notice that the velocity of the body changes from 10 meter per second to 20 meter per second. Mean it has initial velocity 10 meter per second and it has final velocity 20 meter per second. As the velocity is being changed, so we say that the body has acceleration. The body is being accelerated. So what is the condition for producing acceleration? When the velocity is changed with time. So there are two conditions. Number one, suppose a body is moving in this direction and its velocity goes from 3 meter per second to 6 meter per second. Or suppose when body we notice here is having it is moving in a straight direction, and here the velocity of the body is 10 meter per second. While going towards right, its velocity decreases to 7 meter per second. So in both these two cases, we see that the velocity is being changed. So in both cases, acceleration is generated. The other case in which suppose the magnitude of the velocity remains constant but its direction changes. For example, suppose a body is moving in this curved path. Here suppose the velocity remains same, 5 meter per second, and again it is having the same velocity here, 5 meter per second. Here we are noticing that the body is having the same velocity, but at this point we are noticing that the direction is changed from this point to this direction to this direction. That's why whenever body moves in a curved path, for example in a circular track, the speed or the velocity of the body gets changed because the change in direction. So in both these two cases, here whether the speed increases or decreases in a straight path, or in this case although the speed is or velocity is same but the direction is changed. In both these cases the body gets accelerated. Dear students, the formula for acceleration is A equal change in velocity divided by time. So let's talk about the unit for acceleration. Here we notice that in upstairs in numerator there is a velocity, and the unit for velocity is meter per second divided by the time is having unit s, so it can also be written as meter remains in upstairs while the s from numerator falls down in downstairs. So it can also be written as meter per square second, or we can write it as meter s minus. So the unit for acceleration is meter per square second. Dear students, here you notice that there are two kinds of acceleration. Number one, positive acceleration, and number two, negative acceleration. So what is it? Acceleration of a body is positive if its velocity increases with time. The direction of this acceleration is the same in which the body is moving without change in its direction. So positive acceleration and now come to discussing the negative acceleration. So what is it? Acceleration of a body is negative if the velocity of the body decreases. The direction of negative acceleration is opposite to the direction in which the body is moving. Negative acceleration is also called retardation. The parallel name, the alternative name for negative acceleration is retardation or deceleration. So again, if the speed of the body is increasing, it gets positive acceleration, and if the speed or velocity of the body is decreasing, we may say that it has negative acceleration. Dear students, let's revise what we did today in this lecture. We talked about different terms associated with motion. We talked about position, we talked about distance and displacement, we talked about speed and velocity, and finally we developed the concept of acceleration. So this is all for today's discussion. Hopefully you understand today's discussion, and see you next with next topic in next lecture. So take care for yourself, and see you in next lecture. So good luck.